Hi, my name is Arpi Vartanian. I'm the Regional Director of the Armenian Assembly of America, and I'm here today with Junior Sergeant Yervand. I'm not going to tell you his last name. And we are at on the border with Armenia at a place where a lot of soldiers are serving, and Yervand is one of those soldiers. I came here, I wanted to talk with him and some others to find out more about life here and what's going on and what some of their thoughts are. So, Yervand, first of all, let me start off by saying that I personally thank you for all of your service. And I know that the Armenian diaspora is with me on that they are behind you and your colleagues, your fellow soldiers here. They are behind you in that all the work that you're doing in defending the Armenian people. So thank you.
We know that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I think it might be interesting based on conversations that I've had. People are interested in knowing what is a typical day like for you.
We started our something like gym. We do some stretchings and we run, and then we go and we shave. We just go and wash our hands. We do some we care for ourselves, then we go to and take breakfast in cafeteria. Now it's very good trend in Armenian Army. They are changing our cafeterias and they are making the quality better, and I already tasted it. It's very good. It's better than we had before, so it's very good upgrade for Armenian Army and for Armenian soldier, because Armenian soldier and all their families can be sure that Armenian soldier is not angry.
Good.
Then it's like all the soldiers
They line up?
Yeah, they line up, and the commander of the
Of the military unit?
Of the military union.
Unit.
Of the military unit came and gives his all his what we must to do during that day. Says all that things what we must to do during that day, and we had all the classes. We learn how to use our guns. We learn how to fight in the in the war field. We learn how to help our soldiers when they are
wounded
during the war. So we learn all the stuff that we need during the war. But I must be honest and say that there is no so much thing to learn during these 2 years, and we can learn all that stuff, I think, in 6 months. Then after lunchtime we have something called after lunch break, so we can do whatever we want. We can go to and buy something to eat, for example some sweets to eat. We have shop in the military unit. After that...
Wait 1 second. What do you like to do during that that lunch break?
Mostly I like to read books.
Okay.
I must be honest with you and say that when I came to the army, I promised me to give the better version of myself to me after army. So
that's beautiful.
I wanted to be a better version of myself in 2021 when I'm finishing the army, and I don't think that army is something that cutting us from our basic life. I think that army is the part of our basic life, and if we use it rightly, correctly, we can get a lot of things from the army and become better versions of ourselves.
That's wonderful. What kind of books do you like to read?
For example, I read recently George Orwell, 1984. 451 Fahrenheit by Ray Bradbury. I read Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. It's the Russian classics.
Uh-huh.
I read some Armenian books, some Armenian history books.
A variety. That's so great.
Yeah. Also, I'm learning now 2 languages, Spanish and German.
Muy bien.
Ich bin gut. I learn German sometimes like one year, but not enthusiastically
Uh-huh.
during my before army. But I don't know any Spanish word before army, and I started Spanish from beginning, and I have some results now.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, let's get back to your day.
Yes.
After you're done with your lunch break.
Then we have something called care of military staff.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are cleaning our guns, we are cleaning all the stuff. For example, halka gas or halka
The anti-gas mask.
anti-gas, yeah, anti-gas. We have some little
Knives.
knives, and we are cleaning all the stuff. So we are carrying our guns because it must be clean to shoot rightly during the war.
Of course.
Yeah. After that, it's like sometimes we have Verakark at work. Verakark.
Nadia Chiquita.
I don't know. It's something called when you are not doing the usual stuff.
Uh-huh.
For example, you are going to the cafeteria and you are helping to make that food. You are helping.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You're going to remember that for after you get out of the army,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So when you get home, you'll know how to,
Yeah. We learn something.
Okay. Because somebody at another military unit recently proudly showed me that the soldiers have a washing machine and they can dry their clothes and they do their own laundry. And I just looked at him and I said, kind of jokingly, kind of not. I said, and then they get out of the army and they go home and they forget how to do laundry? And he said, no. But the other guy with them understood what I meant. So this is on tape, okay? We've got you.
Okay.
All right, so you learn how to make some food, you know
Yeah.
how to do some other stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like that.
Do you get to go into the city at all?
We have that opportunity
Mm-hmm.
during Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
We can go to the church with our or kahana,
Our priest.
our priest.
Mhm.
Yeah. Also, we can go to the city and have some fun. For example, playing billiard.
Uh-huh. Are you any good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or something like to go and eat something differently.
Yeah.
For example, if you like Horvat kebab.
Uh-huh. Oh, you don't
Get
get that here?
Yeah, we don't have it in our cafeteria.
Okay.
It's like that, and during the evenings we have again cafeteria.
Mhm.
It's dinner time. Then after that, we get free time. We can do whatever we want, and
Mhm.
also it's time when again we are caring for ourselves. We are going to shave. Then after that time we have time for news. We are watching TV. We are
Mhm.
watching our first channel, Armenian first channel.
Mm-hmm.
To be informed what's going on the world. After that, it starts անվանական ջետ երեկոյան որ կանչում են անվանական
Oh, roll call.
roll call.
Mhm.
So they are checking that everyone is in their places.
Mm-hmm.
We are sleeping 8 hours.
Very good.
It's very good because it's 8 hours are enough to
Yeah.
recovery.
Okay. I'm going to stop it right here because this is part 1 and we're going to continue in a separate video with part
Okay.
2, okay? So we'll be right back. Okay, folks, we're here back with Yervand, who's a junior sergeant in the Armenian Army, and we're talking about him in part 1 of this video. He just gave us a breakdown of how his typical day breaks out and how it works out, what he does from each hour, for each hour. But now I want to talk with him a little bit about some of the particulars of what he does in the army. So you're here very close to the border with Azerbaijan. I know that you were studying on a different topic. You were studying at the American University. What were you studying there?
I'm studying business sciences.
Okay.
I don't choose yet my major, like it's economics or accounting. I don't choose that. But
so when you go back and when you leave the army in 2000 or 2021, 21, right?
21, yeah.
You'll be going back to AUA
Yeah.
to study. I think that's wonderful, and I want to just mention once again that your English is outstanding, and I'm very impressed with it.
I had not experienced English like 10 months. It's something get back.
Well, you have to practice it.
Yeah.
With any language, if you don't
I'm
speak
reading
it,
books,
you
but-
lose it.
Yeah, I'm reading books, but I don't speak to anyone right there.
Well,
That's why.
is there anyone else who speaks English here?
I don't know anyone. who speaks.
Okay, I'll give you my card.
Okay.
But going back, now getting back to the border, now you're in the army, so you had to leave university. You had been studying there for how long before you had to join the army?
1.5 year.
1.5 years?
3 semesters. Yeah.
Wow. And so you had to leave that and come serve in the army, and then you'll go back after you finish serving, and you'll finish and you'll graduate. Okay. So now you're here. I'm not going to say where. I just think that's confidential information. You're here, and you're really close to the border with Azerbaijan. I imagine last time I was up in this area, I heard a lot of shots being fired while I was there. I haven't heard any this morning, so I don't know if there have been, or if I just didn't notice it, or maybe later on today, maybe yesterday. What is it like for you? What happens when shots are fired?
It's at first I think that I have some fear, but when it's getting usual for you, the shots, so it's becoming not fear, it's becoming like you are feeling that you need to fight. But I'm not in the
In a division?
in division that's going to the border. I'm not going to the border, truly said. But I have a lot of friends who go there, and they say very awful stories, what they need to do, like to survive. And here in our border, it was quite like for 4 years, but now there are some shots everywhere, every day. I don't know, but what I know for surely that every soldier in our army is fully ready to fight whenever it's time, whenever it's needed. So now we soldiers, we don't fear from that shoots. We say that we whenever it's needed, we can give our counterattack to them.
Yeah. I follow the shots fired on a daily basis, and I've noticed that, for a while they were a lot fewer. They weren't firing, as you said. But in the last couple of weeks, they have begun. And in particular, I noticed, maybe you noticed this too, on October 29th, the United States House of Representatives passed House Resolution 296, which is about the Armenian genocide. And on October 30th and October 31, the shots fired by Azerbaijan against Armenia increased quite a lot. And we don't want you all to be put in danger, not by any means. And we were very much aware of this so that we can follow this and raise these concerns with those people who need to know in the United States. I'm wondering if you all noticed this kind of thing, or was it maybe in a different part of Armenia where the shots were fired and you did not notice it?
I'm particularly didn't notice that, but I have friends in Nagorno-Karabakh, and I'm calling them in daily basis, and they said that they are hearing that shots every day.
Yeah.
Even I have my friend, very close friend. We are friends for 15 years. Like, he is in Nagorno-Karabakh, in very dangerous area, and he said that there was even
Diversionary tactics.
diversionary attack, yeah. And I said, how is it now? He said it's okay, but I feel from his voice that there's not yet okay. There's shootings, there's something like that. But what's important, that our soldiers don't have fear.
We see that.
Yeah.
And I want you and all of your fellow soldiers to know that we in the diaspora, as well as in Armenia, of course, are following this, and we are with you, and we hurt, we suffer with you, every pain that you suffer, every injury, every, God forbid, death, and we rejoice in your victories as you do, because you are defending the Armenian people. So again, thank you very much for all that you do. It's so important for us, and it's, I think you want to hear that too, so I'm passing that on.
Here I can say one thing, how I'm imagining the future of Armenian Army, and what I think about this war with Azerbaijan. What I think is that we can't get peace with fighting, and it's not the era of that guns, for example, that AK-74 that we are fighting with is the gun, or something like bigger guns that we are fighting. I don't think it's the era of that fight, and I think the only way to win the war is to make Armenia better. Make Armenian economy better, and that will mean that the biggest players in our area, I'm mentioning like Russia, Iran, and other bigger players, will need and must need to take into account the Armenian position, and we can do that only by making our economy better. It's long term, very long term, but we have that capacity. As I'm learning in American University of Armenia, I know that how many brains we have now in Armenia, and how can we change the world in Armenia.
Bravo.
Yeah,
Bravo.
It can be also not only we all every day say it's IT. Yeah, IT is very, very good, and it's the main way that Armenia wants to develop. But also we have another specialist, very good specialist, like in other fields, like in business, in architecture, and in engineering sciences. So we must develop
We must develop on all sides.
in all sides, and I believe that Armenia can have bright future, and I think that the only way to fight war is to develop Armenian economy. So the biggest players in this area will depend on us. The April war showed us, we lost some soldiers, our brothers, we lost them. I think we didn't need that fight, and it showed again that by fighting, by war, neither Azerbaijan nor Armenia can't win the areas back. It's my opinion, but I think only way to win war is developing Armenia.
You are a very, very smart, very wise young man. And, just for our viewers and listeners out there, I want to say that Yervand is great, and he's saying some beautiful things in which I believe also. But I want you all to be assured that he is not the only young person who thinks like this. and you know, I'm older than you, so you're a young person, but a lot of people like Yervand, his age group, both male and female, are thinking the same way. So there's a lot of positive attitude coming out of Armenia today, and we have to encourage that in any way possible. So thank you for sharing that too, because it's important that other people hear what you have to say, because they might say, hey, he's right, or I said the same thing just yesterday, or I wonder how I can get to be part of that. And I hope more and more people do approach that. Okay, we have maybe just a minute left. Tell me about what you see for yourself after you finish serving in the army. Yeah.
So I want to graduate from AOA. During that, I have 2.5 years to graduate from AOA, but I want to make some exchange programs with other universities. So I want to get acquainted with other cultures. For example, I want to study in USA, in some Europe cities. After that, I want to have master's degree. Again, my dream is to study in one of the top 10 universities. I don't yet decide it will be business, connected with business or not. For example, I'm very interested in data sciences and maybe...
Data sciences, very good.
It's very developing field. So I want to study there, but what I want to say that I am not going to leave Armenia. I am one of the brains of Armenia.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I believe in it, and I want to study there, gain the international experience, and come here back and invest all my knowledge, and maybe that time all my money in Armenia.
Yervand.
What I want to say that diaspora, if you have money, if you have knowledge, come and invest in Armenia. There are a lot of risks, but you know that high risk and high reward, and it's your homeland, hometown. Come here.
Thank you very much. Yervand, let me shake your hand. Thank you. I wish you all the best in the world, and I look forward to hearing great things about you and from you.
Thank you.
Thank you.